I welcome you all to this video, which is based on the first module of the online course on skill development of the youth and their livelihood. Through this module, we shall discuss the basic concepts of skill and skill development in the context of India as a whole. If we look at the learning objectives of the course of the module, after watching this video, you will be able to explain the meaning of skill and skill development, identify the needs and importance of skill development, discuss the relevance and importance of skill development training in the 21st century. As a beginner in the course, first you must learn the basic concept of skill development, and the need and relevance of skill development training in the present situation. Let us discuss these concepts one by one. So first, what skill? Skill means the capacity or the ability in an individual that brings perfections in doing something productive. In fact, skills are the range of abilities to do something well, especially because of training, practice, etc. A skill is the learned ability to perform an action, which determined results with good execution, often within a given amount of time, energy, or effort. Skills can often be divided into two domains: general skills and specific skills. For example, in the domain of work, some general skills would include time management, teamwork and leadership, self-motivation, vocational education, training and retraining facilities, etc. Whereas the domain-specific skills would be used only for certain jobs, which are very specific in nature. So a skill may be called an art. An art or skill may be the basis for a profession, trade, or a craft where practice applies. We need practice actually. So skills is for ensuring a sustainable economy, for which what people actually need. People need a broad range of skills. A study conducted jointly by the American Society for Training and Development and US Department of Labor showed that the innovation and explosion of ICT changed the entire world economy and the working pattern, and hence identified basically 16 basic skills such as hard skills, soft skills, social skills, communication skills, life skills, people skills, labor skills, holistic competencies, and so on. That employees must have to be able to cope up with the changing situation, which are broadly divided into three broad categories such as technical, human, and conceptual skills. If we see the 21st century skills, the 21st century skill basically talk about acquisition of life skills, which are the combinations of cognitive skills, technical skills, and interpersonal skills. In terms of 21st century skills, the World Health Organization identified the development of 10 core life skills that would help an individual to become a skilled person in a very comprehensive way. The 10 core skills are like the problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, effective communication skill, decision making skills, creative thinking skills, interpersonal relationship skills, self-awareness building skills, then empathy and coping with stress and emotions. The most important thing is that skill is needed for understanding the self. Because skills are the strategies, abilities, expertise, or the competencies that enable people or adolescents to develop positive attitudes and responsibilities. leading to a healthy life with a strong mental health. So, skill helps to understand the self of an individual. That includes the self concept, self esteem, a social self, and self knowledge. If we see the World Health Organization, what type of actually qualities should be possessed by an individual and what type of qualities should be developed, which are identified by the World Health Organization as that skills of knowing and living with oneself that would help to develop the capacity to adjust with any emotional matter and the mental stress. So self-evaluation and self-awareness, two basic things, self-evaluation and self-awareness, are the qualities that include recognitions of ourselves, the character and the strength and weakness, as well as the desires and dislikes. So, developing effective communications, negotiations, empathy, and the interpersonal skills also help in building the professional qualities of an individual. So, skills like creative thinking, involvement in decision-making process, critical thinking skills, as well as problem-solving skills are the pillars on the basis of which an individual can progress in their professional life with a high level of confidence and excellence. Now, the second part, we are going to talk about what is skill development. Actually, in this module, we are talking about what is skill development and what are the basic things actually an individual should be possessed for their in terms of their skill development. Basically, skill development means development of knowledge, attitude, and the skills of an individual so that he or she can contribute to social and economic development. Besides, it also means to ensure the development of the quality of life, economic progress, and enlargement of people's choice in terms of expansion of their economic and the social choices. Therefore, it is the right time to make people skilled and competent so that every individual can lead a meaningful life with some adequate ways of earnings. In fact, skill development is required for enhancing the productivity level at an individual, industry, and a national level. If we see why skill development is important, then we can see that in the today's globalized and technological world, it is a fact that skill building is an important instrument to increase the efficacy and quality of labor for improved productivity and economic growth. So we should remember basically two things regarding the necessity of the skill development. One is related to improved productivity, and second one is related to economic growth. So, national policy for skill development and entrepreneurship in the year 2015 aims to bring the world of education and training closer to the world of work to build a strong India. It provides clarity and coherence on how skill development efforts across the country can be aligned within the existing institutional arrangement. The policy links skill development to improve employability and productivity. For improving the productivity and employability in the nation, actually the policy basically stress on the skill development. India had declared from 2010 to 2020 as the decade of innovation. This time, the 10 years from the 2010 to 2020 as a decade of innovation. So, skill building in this context is a powerful tool to empower individuals and improve their social acceptance. Even in 2014, on the Independence Day speech, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, spoke on skill development and skilled India, which could be considered a milestone for making India a modern country. After knowing the policy and mission of making India a skilled India, or a skilled nation, then we must have to learn actually why skill development training are important. What are the relevance of the skill development courses in the present context? Particularly, as you know, we are living in a very complex and a very competitive world where we have to engage ourselves in the various activities irrespective of our age, gender, nature of jobs or works, or courses we study to meet the desired goals of our life. So today, the young generation we have seen is basically is rising up with a growing sense of suspicion. This may be because of the fact that the young generation is not using their abilities and potentials to the fullest extent. They may not getting the scope to for their fullest development of their potentialities and their abilities, what they have, what they possess. Lack of emotional balance, physical abuses, decreased self-esteem of the young generation, improper knowledge of physiological and psychological senses occurred during the adolescence, moral deterioration often badly affect the individuals as well as the society as a whole. So this results in low self-esteem, inability to handle pressure at work, in their personal as well as professional lives, eventually leading the individual to depression. Proper training should be given to the students concerning how to handle the issues of various situations connected to personal life, study habits, relation with peers and other members of society or in the family, pressure at workplace, etc. So skill training is must for everyone. It should be given from childhood to adulthood so that people can enjoy their life with a sense of happiness and a sense of fulfillment. Again, for the long-term benefits of the nation as well as for the general well-being of the people, there is a need of skill-based quality education. The kind of education that makes a learner competent in work and eventually they contribute a lot in the nation building process. Again, we know India has a rich demographic dividend. If the proper skill-based education could be given to the members of this group of population, particularly the young adult population, which is asset for the country as a whole, it could contribute a lot in the creation of a knowledge-enabled population in the country. But ironically, if we see in a country like India, the working forces are not properly engaged. And eventually the problems like unemployment, underemployment, and brain drain are rising day by day. Besides, more than 90% women are engaged in the unorganized sectors, as most of them work for their day-to-day living or for sustenance of their living. This may be the results of the inadequate skill orientation of female workers towards their work. If we see if education is related to human resource development, it seems that higher education could not supply the adequate need-based skill workforce for which India is far lagging behind in terms of ensuring a better position in quality living. It seems that compared to many developing countries of the world, India's vulnerable employment is about 76.7%, whereas the same countries like Sri Lanka or neighboring countries like China, Sri Lanka ranges are from 30 to 40% only. So it is expected even that due to COVID-19 situation, the percentage will become much worse in the history of the Indian economy. So to overcome and to recover from the COVID-led economic crisis, both men and the women, particularly the young generations, are required to join the labor force. But the pandemic has resulted in lesser job prospect. At the critical juncture, it is need of the hour to develop entrepreneurial skills in them and provide them with the requisite support so that they can work towards boosting their economic conditions and gradually overcome their economic crisis. So, there is no doubt about the fact that workforce can be accelerated by training the population with the requisite skills, and universities, particularly the open universities in India, can work in this direction and play a leadership role in educating and empowering the marginalized and the deprived sections. Therefore, in this context, for ensuring a sustainable economy, development of the life skills become the priority issue in the 21st century. In the today's society, there is a growing demand for human capital and enhancement of manpower. If education is related to the formation of human capital and enhancement of the manpower, then it should be actually linked with the development of the basic 4 pillars of education. So, what are the 4 pillars? Learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live together. That life skills should be developed in terms of formation of human capital and enhancement of manpower. These 4 pillars should be actually developed with the help of education. So only the skill-based education can help the people to achieve these 4 pillars by developing the competencies in terms of knowledge and critical thinking skills that is related to the learning to know and practical skills that is related to learning to do, personal skills that is related to learning to be, and social skills that is related to learning to live together. So practical skills are the manual skills under which learning is related under the learning to do, and other psychosocial life skills are the skills under learning to know, learning to be, and learning to live together. In fact, the life skills education equips the learners with those skills, including the practical and life skills which are needed in both particular and the specific context. Thank you for watching this video. In the next 2 modules, we shall discuss how skill development is related to empowerment and what is the present status of livelihood opportunities in India as a whole. So, see you again and enjoy your learning.